Next guest is Priscila Prestes. She is a Brazilian teacher with 15 years of experience at all levels and grades. She graduated in pedagogy at the Federal University of Paraná and moved to the United States in 2015 to teach dual language immersion Portuguese. She taught first grade for 5 years. She is now starting her fourth year as a middle school dual language immersion teacher and loves it. She has presented at several education and language teacher conferences because she loves sharing what she has learned. She is currently trying to find a balance between full time work, family, and trying to finish her MA in Portuguese Pedagogy at Brigham Young University. Welcome to the podcast, Priscilla.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, I saw your talk at the ACTFL conference in November, and that's why I invited you to speak on the podcast. And, I'm really excited to learn more about the dual language immersion program that you teach at. But we'll start off with the question I ask everybody. Tell me about a time when you were in the trenches and managed to crawl out.
Oh, I actually have two. My first year in public education in Brazil, when I was like my first experience in Brazil to be a public education teacher, you need to do a test. So the people, the first to have the best scores are hired. So that's how it is. So because I have a higher score, I thought, oh, I'm so great. But then when I started my first year, it was in a very unprivileged neighborhood with kids with lots of different situations and all the hardships that I never faced. I was out of my bubble, and that was my first stretch because I need to know how to help those kids with so many different levels of difficulties, social, emotional, financial, everything you can think of. And then I started researching a lot of strategies and things to help them. So I think that was my first experience when I shake like this is a war and I need to
Yeah,
win this. So
yeah.
that was my first encounter when I need to relearn everything. And then I was fine for the 5 years after that because I know where to find resources and I know there is always a way, always some something I can do to help. And then Um, I was hired to come to United States to teach dual immersion, and I came from public education in Brazil, like elementary, high school, things like that, to here when the privilege thing is so high. I have everything. I have technology, I have the resources, I have everything on my hands, but I was in an extremely new experience for me. It's a different educational system. Dual immersion, it was completely new for me. It's a new thing that I had to learn. And my family was transitioning this new country, culture, education. Both of my kids are autistic and how to do. So the first year for an immigrant when everything is so new and no much people to tell you what to do and how to do is when depressions come in high for me. I was having panic attacks. I was hiding in the bathroom to cry. And I remember telling my husband, we don't even have money to come back to Brazil. Like what I am doing here. So that's when I have to find therapy.
Yeah.
And I have a great therapist here in the United States to help me go through the panic attacks. Um, and then trying to find my community, give me resources and tell me or just let me know that I was doing was valid. The big problem for me was that I was teaching first grade. So in first grade, the immersion, it's 100% in a language, target language. But our audience, it's not Brazilians. Everyone thinks we are teaching immigrants. We do have some immigrants, maybe six. I have two classes of 32 first graders. They spend half of the time with me, and then we switch with the English partner and I cannot speak English with them. They do not speak Portuguese. So I have to do a whole new sets of strategies to teach them content through language when they understand me and they learn math through the language. And I ended up doing it and they really learn. It's amazing. But in my mind, I thought they will become fluent in the first year, which
Hmm.
is not the truth. They just learned the first words by January. They start giving the first sentences. But on my anxiety, on my panic, I thought I was not doing a good job. I thought it was my fault. I thought like what I'm doing is wrong. They will send me back. If I don't have a job, I don't even have money to go. So I have to manage my own panic, my own expectations. And then after I survive, for now, every time a new teacher immigrant is coming to the program, I always try to reach them if they are not in my school and tell them, hey, let me tell you something. You need to face the first year as the survivor year. It
Yeah.
will be hard. You will be lost for a little bit, but you will understand how it works. But give yourself some grace. The first year you survived. So I told my friend recently, it's like you are in the sea, right? And you are swimming, and it looks like the waves will never stop coming, and you need to be out of the water, try to breathe, and again, the waves are coming. That's the first year for an immigrant here. But the second year, you will eventually sit down in the sand and just look at the sea, and it will be a good experience. So the first year, you're just swimming,
Yeah.
but the second year, you probably will be able to rest on the beach and see your work, and you can see the ocean and be happy with your work. But yeah, the first survivor mode is hard for everyone.
Yeah, and that's nice to hear about kind of your perspective from coming and having to teach in this dual immersion setting. Like, I've had a lot of guests on that teach English as a second language, and I know it's different when you're teaching a world language in the U.S., especially in dual language immersion. You have to like teach, like you said, 100% in the second language. A lot of teachers that are just teaching regular language in high school a lot here in the Denver area try to do at least 90% in the second language. But you coming over that hump of like, how do I teach them math in Portuguese without shifting to English, right? Did you experience a lot of the kids wanting to speak English back to you? Were they mostly speaking English back to you that first year?
Yes. So because it's first grade, it is first experience with the language. We have a summer camp for a week. So the kids will have their anxiety level lowered. Um, but that's the normal is they will speak English back to you for the first months, and that's okay because they don't have any skills and any vocabulary to give you back. So they can speak English until January. So when we come back from Christmas break is when is the Portuguese only rule come in for
Okay.
them.
Yeah.
For me, it's always just Portuguese. For them, they can speak English back, no problem. So what you do, and I think most of the teachers do this in January when they come back from break, is you have the rule that they cannot speak English. So the first week we have everyone super quiet because they don't know what to do. They cannot speak English. Everyone is super quiet the first week. We have this heaven when no one is talking. This is so good. But then they realize they can speak Portuguese and they are
Yeah.
back to life. But
Yeah.
it's so, because I was there 5 years, it's like a pattern that like the first quiet week, and then they realize how much Portuguese they know. They just answer. They have the skills to question and how to do this. It's magical. I think it's magical for first grade teachers of dual immersion to see this shift and how much they learn in just like 3 months because yeah, it's crazy. So we have some strategies to help them to be in target language, to remember them to be in target language, and it works great. They just need to know they are able to.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's interesting to see how the kids discover on their own the skills that they might not have tried out until they had to, right? Because, like you said,
Mhm.
if they wanted to speak second semester, they had to say it in Portuguese. So tell
Uh-huh.
me a little bit about just the process of coming to the U.S. from Brazil and how you got the opportunity to teach at the dual language immersions.
Yeah, in Brazil, we have English classes in school just once a week. And it's very like the teachers are not super, they are probably not fluent in English. They are just have the job and you just learn some sentences and some, some vocabulary. It's not enough. That's why in Brazil it's common to have private English schools with classes. Like you go to ballet class, you go to English class, you do sports and you do
Yeah.
English. So this is like normal. Of course, more for the privileged families because it's paid, it's private. And my husband happened to have a English private school. So when we get married, I have to go to do what they call it's immersion, but it's different than ours. When you have all the 4 years course in 1 month. So for 1 month in January, which is summer break in Brazil, I have English classes for 8 in the morning to 6 p.m. every day for a month. So it's very, very good. It's called Excellent Global. And I was able to help him in his English private classes as a side job. So I
Okay.
teach in public education and I have some classes that I teach just to keep my English and teach other kids and improve my English. So in 2015, Utah State have agreement with Paraná State to have guest teachers coming to teach Portuguese immersion. And I saw the opportunity online on the State of Education website. Um, and then because I was teaching in the States, so I have to be there on the website all the time. And Utah, teaching in Utah. And because my religion is I belong to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Mormons. So Utah is it was colonized by the religious
Yeah.
people. Hey, I know Utah. I have
Yeah.
cousins studying there in Brigham Young, things like that. So I read the thing and I decided to apply. I was afraid because like I thought my English was not enough. I was not enough. You'll never really believe in yourself. I don't know, but I had to try, and my dad told me, do it. You will pass. You will get this position. Just go. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I will just
Yeah.
go. And then you have some steps. So you have an interview with the principals here, and
Okay.
you send a video of you teaching, blah blah blah. And I was chosen, and I was like, okay, new life for everyone. We sold everything we had, our car, our furniture, everything. And we make enough because you need to, because it's a guest, it's an internship. You have to pay for your tickets and your until you have your first salary here. So you need to be prepared. So we were able to gather $6,000, which is 12,000 reais at the point. No, it was more than that. It's like $1 is $3. Everything we sold was enough to come with $6,000 to come to
Okay.
United States. So when
So
we start
you had to
paying,
pay to move as well. You had to pay for all the
yes,
expenses. Okay.
and first hand rent and buy a car, everything you need to be
Yeah.
prepared because your salary will just be the end of September, your first salary.
Okay.
We got a lot of help. I have friends in Utah, and we were able to make it, and it was super tough, but we made it.
Yeah.
And so because I have, that's the point. The point is because I have a second language, I got the opportunity. So I am like, second language is something that everyone needs to trying to pursue for different reasons. For me, it was an amazing job opportunity that come out because of that.
Did you think when you first came that you'd be here this long, that you'd settle in the US? Or did you think it
No,
would just be a year?
my first contract was for 3 years. So
Okay.
we came for 3 years. We will be great because when I come back, I will be able to teach in bilingual private schools in Brazil, which is a great opportunity. The salaries pay better. Probably my kids will have some kind of scholarship and things like that. But my main goal was because my kids are autistic, both I knew we have more opportunities in United States for them. So Brazil is giving the first steps for therapies, ABA, things like that. Is cool. school settings and things. So I think our first move was for our kids, for us, of course, but for our kids for sure.
Yeah.
And then my visa extended for 2 more years, and then after 5 years, my district offered me the work visa.
Okay.
So we switched to work visa, and work visa is good for 6 years. But the problem with work visa is that your spouse cannot work. They cannot work at all. And that's very hard for every teacher to have the situations when you are the head of the home. It's never enough, especially with our economy. And so the district offered me then the green card. So they apply for age, which is work visa and green card. And now we have a green card, so my husband can work again. And this is permanent residence visa.
Okay. Okay.
So the district, what's the name? They invested in me. And I have this feeling that I will invest in me as well. Once I'm in the United States and I have this amazing opportunity, every opportunity that I have to grow and learn, I took it.
Yeah.
I took it. In technology endorsement, I'm in. Do immersion
Yeah.
endorsement, do it.
Yeah.
Class, we have this conference. Do you want to go? Yes. What about, do you want to present in that conference? I can do this. Yes, I will. This one, I will. So every opportunity that come up, I'm in. So I started going on conference here. We have one conference that is language UFLA. It's for foreign language teachers in Utah. That was my first presentation with my friend Jessica, because we are not like, let's do this together. We are both first grade teachers. I am in my district and she was in her district. And we developed some a tool that our students we talk to ourselves through camera. Like we recorded a video and we talked to ourselves, and kids could see both conjugations and things like that. So that was the first thing we presented, and we were choose the best presentations of UFLA.
Oh,
We
wow.
were
That was your
like,
first presentation. Wow.
it was our first, and we were like, award the best presentation. Because we never believe ourselves, like we are so nervous, but come on, we have a lot to teach. And we always tell our colleagues that comes after us, like, you always have something to show. Everyone has great tools to share, but they are never think they are enough, and they are. What I love about conference is the things that I learn. I love to teach, I love to show up, but for every presentation I come up with an idea that I start to implement, and it make difference in my work. So that's why I try to go as much. I love to go to the technology conference they have here. It's called USET. A lot of tools I learned from there. So if there is a conference and I find the ways to go, like someone can pay for me, I'm
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. Yeah. And
And
so
so when uh,
you've been presenting then for how many years at conferences?
um 5 years, maybe more, 7 maybe. I don't know. I need to remember. I remember what was the first one. Sorry. It was 2019, because it was for before COVID.
Okay. Okay.
So 6 years, yeah. Because we got the award, so they will pay us to go to Escolt, and it would be in Disneyland Resort, and then COVID, we
So you
lost
never
that
got to
opportunity.
go.
Anyways,
Yeah.
I got to go. Uh, so now when I start my master's degree, that's another thing. Like, what's my next steps? I need to do my master's, because I have the background in teaching, but not in language teaching.
Yeah.
So BYU has a lot amazing research on language education. So my master's is in second language learning and acquisition. My focus is Portuguese, of course, but on my master's, I got all the background I need to learn about language acquisition, and I become a better advocate for my program, for the immersion program, and a better advocate for the importance of foreign language education. It's something that I'm very passionate about, because it's not about the language. It's about all the skills you gain for as a citizen and things like, and
Yeah.
because I am in BYU, they pay for me to go to ECFO.
Okay.
That's why you saw me there. I was
Yeah.
able to
Yeah.
be there.
And it's great when you have the opportunity to, have them send you places because I know for teachers, it's really expensive to attend conferences. And, especially if you're a presenter, you really don't get much of a discount. And like for myself, I've, presented a lot, but I usually pay out of pocket. So, I mean, my district gave me a grant just to go to Southwest Colt last spring. But it only paid for the conference. It didn't pay for the travel. And I think you were also there in Hawaii last spring as well. So,
Yes.
but I think, yeah, I love your passion of just like you're taking every opportunity and, wanting to help the other teachers that are coming in, especially the immigrant teachers grow. And, I think that's the confidence that you gain from, the experiences that you've had in education. I wanted to talk a little bit about what's kind of changed since you started the dual language immersion at the school you're at. So in the bio, I said you were teaching first grade. Now you're teaching middle school. Also, you told me in the pre-chat that the enrollment is decreasing slightly because of the AI. So talk to me a little bit about some of those kind of, I would say, changes that may or may not um, you know last over time. We might still have a lot of kids wanting to stay in dual language immersion despite
Yes.
AI. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but this is not, what can I say? This is not research. This is my perspective, okay? So
Yeah.
first, we have a decrease of the enrollment in dual language education for all the programs throughout the state after COVID. And that's what my thinking, okay? It's not research, but okay. To be in a dual language immersion, you don't have buses because you need to drive to the school that offers the language, okay? So the parents need to commit. Like 80% of my students are out of area. The parents
Okay.
need to
Okay.
drive back and forth. COVID make everyone wanting the easiest thing. So I don't think the parents want to commit anymore. They don't want to drive anymore. I think because of COVID, we just want the easy way always.
Yeah.
And I believe with the tools that we have now, maybe people think learning a language is not as important because I'm telling this because I was complaining to my master's doctor in my college at BYU. I was telling her, we are having a decrease for the first time. You always have wait lists for first grade. We
Yeah.
have
Mm-hmm.
always have to have lottery, and all the schools suddenly are not having enough
Yeah.
enrollment in first grade. And I was telling her that, and she said, "This is a thing that is happening to world language throughout the country post COVID. Every place in college is decreasing, in high school is decreasing. People are not interested as much, and I think it's because they think they don't need it because they have the tools to translate,
Yeah.
you know? And that's what worries me is yes, you can go to a country and use the tools and good for you. You can communicate, but learning a language, it's so much more than just be able to communicate to someone that is another country. It makes the students better citizens
Yeah.
because it's not just because when you learn a language, not like a translate device, it's telling you what to do. You are not learning something. So we are not getting in this world and making sense of how people think and how people make sense of their language, what is worth for them, how the cultures work. And when you learn a lot about other culture, you understand your culture better, and you start to make sense and understand and looking within inside you. So what I see is my students, I don't have as much problems with bullying, with behavior.
Yeah.
They accept difference so much better. They are so welcoming to new immigrants. They don't have the separation. You are different. I am the American. You are the. they are so integrated, they are better citizens. And I'm pretty sure any adult to learn a language, they open their minds and
Yeah.
with new skills. And that's that I'm not even come to the research in the brains.
Yeah.
Because there is also the research for biological, what happened to our brain and things like that. So that's my advocate for now is trying to people to understand that learning a language is not just about language. If you want your kids to be a better citizen, a better person, a better worker, because they will face in every workplace, they have to deal with differences. They have to deal with immigrants and other cultures. That's the reality of the United States. That is not come back. You know, uh, this is a multicultural country, and you have to face that. So, how great will be the world if everyone learn a second language, but also have the citizen skills that come with it.
Yeah.
It is a 21st skills. So
Yeah. 21st
we can
century
talk
skill.
for
Yeah. Yeah.
yes, we can talk for hours. I have the argument.
No, and having been in world language education, either in the classroom or now as the president of the CCFLT this year, and like seeing just like, the trends, like you said, the decrease in enrollment in secondary schools and in just general in college programs. Um, and like you said, people can use a phone and translate when they go abroad, but do you really want to rely on technology all the time? I mean, that's impersonal. What if the battery dies? You can't have a relationship with somebody really through a Google Translate over long term. I think it's the joy of travel, and it's the joy of experiencing things. And I know some people that learn a little bit of different languages, even if they don't become fluent like your students are, at least knowing some of the different languages when they travel to, try that out when they're experiencing things. And I know a lot of people like to use apps like Duolingo. I think that's more of an AI that, it kind of alters what kids learn based on what they're answering. And um, there's a lot of ways people can learn. Like I've done a lot of online tutoring since COVID for kids that are at different levels of French and German and Norwegian. But I think, and some of those kids, they're taking the online tutoring because their school doesn't offer the language, right? So, but I
Mm,
think it's like, let's hope that this is just a lull right now, and that the interest is going to come back in the next few years.
yes.
I think we as world language educators are trying to do the advocacy within our states, but also our universities do need to keep the programs. I think that's the problem we're seeing, probably in Utah as well. That you're seeing some universities might not be keeping some of the languages that they've had in the past, and there might not be as many people going into world language for teaching degrees either. What are your thoughts on just kind of bringing in new world language teachers to the profession, those people that are in college?
Ah, I have no idea how is, but I think in Utah we
Yeah,
will keep because we have such a large program in dual language immersion. I guess the our students will come, some will come to the field
yeah,
because they are interesting enough. In Utah, we have a unique situations because of the missionaries for the
yeah,
church go abroad a lot. We have a lot of people, they are still interested in learning. So I think at least in Utah, we are fine. But as for now, what we are doing as a team for dual immersion Portuguese, at least in my district, we decide that we need to advocate better and educate people. So we have some um, actions that we will take starting January when the enrollment starts. We will post, we will have a Instagram, we will recruit our parents to be advocates. We will give them tools to tell to the other parents what's going on. So we decide that if you want people to learn, we need to speak out. How do you learn something if you are just hiding to yourselves? So the best way it is doing our job. So I think all the teachers for dual immersions have the same sense that we just need to advocate. People need to learn. Our district in particular are not facing these problems that you are seeing. I'm from Alpine School District. We have an amazing leader. Her name is Jody, and she's doing amazing work with the world language teachers. So at least for our district, our enrollments are good. In my school, I think we have the biggest number of enrollment. We have amazing world language teachers here. And also our district is very into helping our students to actually being fluent. So the teachers here, they collaborate and they do all the tools they need to do to help our students pass the Apple test, to have the seal of literacy that you think in my district. So we always have welcoming students. What do you call when you are in college and student teacher?
Yes.
I think the language teachers always have a student teacher here, and they are learning for the best. So I think everyone is lucky to be here learning for the teachers from my district. So I think um, if we are making our students loving the language, this passion will come with them, and you will have teachers coming from our programs for sure. There is no
Yeah.
other way. You need, you know.
Yeah, you said that your kids that you had an elementary, now they're in middle school, and you're teaching some of them, and they're so fluent in Portuguese that they're having high AP test rates. So
Ah, yeah.
they're going on, and they're able to then go to college, have the college
Mhm.
credits. So if they do want to get into a teacher a prep program, they're well equipped
Mhm.
because they already have that level of language, right?
Yes. And coming from because we have the ones who learn to be studying abroad for some months. Those kids are taking since first grade, so they learn with us. So I think they will be great teachers. We have already students who finished the program. So last year was the first seniors. They
Mm-hmm.
graduate from the program and they are in college right now. So half of them are in college right now, and half of them are serving missions from the church, the ones who are from the church in Portuguese speaking countries. So we have people teaching Portuguese for the Portuguese community in Japan, in Africa, and here in the United States, in Brazil, in Angola, in Mozambique, and Portugal. They are all around, and the ones who are not going on the missions, they are taking college credits, and the college teacher is telling us they are impressed how well those kids write. So their academic skills. And we say, we know they're awesome. We prepare them well because,
Yeah.
they usually have students who are coming from these missions and studying abroad, but they don't write academically. And our students do, because our program, the dual immersion, is not just about be bilingual, it's also be biliteracy and bicultural.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's so important. It's not just being able to speak it, right? And I think when you're going to go to college, where you're going to maybe do work, mission work, or other, maybe they're going to do a study abroad and they're studying business, for example, right? And they want to do an internship
Ah, yeah.
with a company. They need
Mm-hmm.
to be able to have that biliterate level in their second language. So yeah, it's really cool to see as you see these students that are now going into college, how they're able to do. They'll be doing great things. And I did want to ask you a little bit about your award that you won last year at the Southwest Colt Conference, the Excellence in Education Award. So what type of award is that, and was that something you were nominated for?
Mm-hmm. So ESCOT is the Southwest conference here, and they have one in Utah, I think 3 years ago when I present as
Okay.
well. And networking, you'll know people. And I be friends with Rachel. She is the president of the ESCOT right now. If she's not the president, she's on the committee, I think. So I met, she was here, but I don't remember why. So I met her and I told her, Rachel, I was, I sent a presentation. I was accepted to present it as cult. It was in Hawaii, but I told her I don't have the means. I think I won't be able to find someone. And she said, oh, send me this. I think I can find you a scholarship. What I
Okay.
didn't know that it was, she was nominating to our award. So
Uh-huh.
ESCOL, they have elementary excellent in teaching, secondary excellent in teaching. They have the uh, high, for college teachers, friend of profession, and they have teacher of the year. The teacher of the year come from UFLA. So the teacher of
Mhm.
the year at UFLA, it's being the ones that are maybe will be the teacher of the year in ESCOL. The for every state come one teacher of the year. That's not what I was. Mine is secondary teaching of excellence. So what she asked me was a letter for parents, students, my admins, and I need to write something about my history, my work. And I thought it was for a scholarship. So the committee read those letters and learn about me, and they decide that I will be the secondary teacher of excellence. So I was not expecting, and I cried when I got the email, and I felt so seen. They saw my work. They they think I deserve to be awarded for my work. And even reading the letters that my student wrote, that the parent wrote, that my admin wrote, makes me looked inside myself because I don't know, we have this teacher guilt. We never think we are enough. Maybe we don't see the things we do. I don't know. um I wish everyone has the opportunity to at least have a letter for someone telling you how awesome you are, because there's so many awesome teachers that are not being recognized because no one nominated.
Yeah.
But they are
Yeah.
amazing.
Hmm.
And people don't even know they have these awards. Like, I didn't know they you can nominate someone for S code. I didn't know I can nominate my teacher friends, things like that. So now I myself nominate friends of mine that I think are amazing for the next S code teacher of excellence. But it was an experience that was humble and was giving me so much um fuel to keep going. Like, look the things you do, look the things you have done, look to yourself and praise yourself a little bit. Give me some perspective that yes, I do a good job, and just give me more fuel to keep going, give me more desire to be better, give me more. I don't know, every time, because I have the plate right here in the back of my wall. You cannot see because it's blurry, but so every day I remind me I am an excellent teacher and I have good things to teach. And I don't know, just empower me. That's the word. Empower me to understand that people are seeing my work and be recognized for that. It is amazing and then humble, and I wish we can recognize teachers more often.
Yeah, and I really appreciate hearing just the perspective of somebody receiving the award. I mean, you didn't even know that it was for the award. You just asked for you thought it was a scholarship you were applying for, and then you were nominated. But really, like you said, it's hearing about what the admin and the students and the parents think about your teaching. And I think there's not enough recognition for teachers, and a lot of teachers don't want to self-nominate. Like at CCFLT, we
Mhm.
people can self-nominate, but nobody wants to put themselves on a pedestal. So
I
I think
know.
a lot of the time you have to get or somebody will nominate somebody they think is worthy of the award. But it's one of those professions where you're serving others, and you're rarely recognized
Yes.
for those great things that you do. But when that does happen unexpectedly, like in your case, it feels so good, like you said, and it does help you probably sometimes when you have a bad day or you're going through something difficult, then you can look at that award and it reminds you of the just
Uh-huh.
the appreciation, right, that people have for what you do. So I think
But
we've
that
had a
my goal
great
is that I
yeah.
will nominate every time I can, every
Uh-huh.
year. I am a ESCO member now. I will nominate someone.
Uh-huh.
I will look to my friends around me and I will say, let me do it because they deserve it. If no one is doing for them, I will do.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what
and
I will do.
that's great to pay it forward, right? So I think we've
Yes.
had a great conversation around your teaching experience and dual language immersion, your trench story of when you first started teaching in Brazil and then when you came to the US as an immigrant. Um, Out of everything we've talked about, what's one thing you'd like listeners to remember?
First thing, you matter. You are worth it. You are amazing. As a teacher, you do make a difference. Even if you feel like not feeling amazing right now, we have lows, ups and downs in life.
Yeah.
You are worth it. And the second thing is invest yourself learning a language. Invest in yourself. If you are listening to us and you don't know a second language yet, it's not too late. Do it for yourself. Try to see what is the immigrant population around you and learn their language. Learn for yourself. And if you have kids in school, put as a like mandatory for them to learn a language. And this is if you want to make a difference in the world, you need to put people learning another cultures.
Yeah, yeah, that's great to just as a point to listeners, like you said, um, it's not too late. Like you can learn a second language if you're 85, right? I mean, there's
Mm-hmm.
it's a hobby for some people, you know, if they're retired, but you always have the opportunity to travel to use that language. And I think people appreciate it when you travel and you try to use the language. And you know, like for myself, for my kids, you know, making sure that they keep languages that I know and that they use it. But yeah, as you mentioned as well, if you have an immigrant population that you live near or that's in your community, learn some of their language as well. Where can people connect with you and find you online?
I have a I don't have because I'm on my master, I don't have time for social media as much. Okay. But my Instagram is open, I think. It's Pribicki. So it's pretty Priscilla and Biki, Rebiki, my one of my last names. So Pribicki, Pribicki. And
Mhm.
I think you probably post my email. I don't know. You can
Yeah,
reach me in my email. Um, it's very long to put in here. But
yeah.
send me a DM on Instagram and you find me. I
Okay.
Facebook is uh, the same, uh, Pribicki. Oh, just a moment. My headphone fell.
Well, I'll make
And
sure I put that in the show notes and you know, I could put your email in there as well. So if people would like you to come speak at their conference, if people are listening and, you know, might have a conference in their area and they want to hear more about the dual language immersion program or just your experience teaching as an immigrant coming to the US all these years ago, you know, they can definitely reach out to you. It's been a pleasure having you on the Out of the Trenches podcast. I always love to talk to other world language educators and, you know, to hear about your passion about what you do.
yeah, I think you can also post in the notes my website, the with my portfolio. They have
Sure.
some of my conference materials there that people can. I have like the slideshows for my presentations there. If you are going to
Okay.
West Coast, I will presenting about teaching culture in secondary. If you're going there, I'll be there. But yeah, sorry, I interrupt your saying your
Oh,
goodbyes. So thank you
no.
for having me. I am completely passionate about what I do. I am want to be a better advocate. It is my pleasure to talk about things that I know they are amazing, like dual immersion and world languages. Thank you so much for having me.